And you are looking live at sold out Polo Grounds. Giants played there from 1925 to 1955. You are looking live at the sold out Polo Grounds, where today the 16-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Minnesota Vikings. Why the Minnesota Vikings 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there, anybody at all, you want to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Just trying to move the chair here. My dog wants to get on, wants to lay on the floor next to me. So I think he does this every time I start doing a video. So yeah, he's on the floor next to me. So I'm petting him. But I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here, shoot my mouth off here for about 30 minutes tonight, as I usually try to do. Anybody got anything to say? Please feel free, throw it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So anything that gets put in there, I usually look at it. I see, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free. Okay. Before we get started, anybody want to help support my channel? It would mean the absolute world to me. The top link in the description box, okay? I guess it takes you to my membership page. I guess I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them and everything. There's loyalty badges, which they're pretty cool. What is there's 8 different loyalty badges. Each one is a different Giants helmet. Now, the older the helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. They're pretty cool. There's 4 different emojis. Eventually, there will be a 5th one coming out. But I had them made up on Fiverr. They're pretty cool. I get a kick every time I look at them. I guess you could use them in the chat box or in the comment section or whatever. So they're pretty cool. So anybody want to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. Thank you so much. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please click that subscribe button below. Hit the bell icon. That way, next time I either go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. And also, finally, in the description box below, there's 3 Facebook links. Okay. Now, the top Facebook link is it's a group. Okay, it's the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group. Okay. Right now we have over 1,900 members in there. Between the group, and I have a page as well, and a YouTube channel. I mean, I spend probably 2-3 hours a day posting stuff. I said with the YouTube channel and doing the video and all that and everything, at least 2 to 3 hours every day. So with the group here, okay, the Gridiron, the group, as I said, I try to put at least 5 different things in there, if not more, every day. Most of the time it's more. And the nice thing about the group is if you click on it and become a member of it, you can post stuff in there as well too. So it's not just stuff just from me, it's stuff from members too, right? So there's all kinds of stuff going in there every day. Then also, underneath the link for the Facebook group, all right, there's 2 more links. They're both pages, Facebook pages. The middle link, I guess you want to call it, is it's a page, a Facebook page. It's called, oddly enough, New York Giants, the Gridiron. I know, very original. And then there's another one underneath it, which is called This Day in Giants History. I'm not as active in that one because because a lot of my time is being taken up with the Facebook group, the Facebook page, and the YouTube channel. I'm spending a lot of time on that. Hopefully, possibly after the season's over with, I might be able to start to devote more time to that one. All right. But if you want to click on that link as well and like that one and follow it, that's fantastic. That's like, I guess, under construction, but that will become a page, and I will try to regularly post stuff in there. But the middle link, all right, the page, the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Right now we have 426 people who like it. There's over 1,200 people following it. Okay, and it's the same thing with the group. Every day, I try to post stuff in there. At least 5 things, if not more. Usually, it's more than that. But with the pages, I'm the administrator, so basically I'm the only one posting stuff in there. So as I said, but I always try to make sure basically 7 days a week between the group and the page, I put stuff in there every day. So there's nothing, it's not the same stuff. I don't commingle. Whatever I put on the page, I don't put in the group and vice versa. So, the page and the group both basically have different, posts in there. All right. So click on the page, like it, follow it. Click on the group and become a member. Money back guarantee if you're not satisfied. Okay, but they said, but you get a lot of bang for the buck. All right, and once again, join the group and the page, and enjoy the posts. All right, so all that stuff said, out of the way. Finally, all right, with the Giants. Okay, we got a couple of guys. All right, going to the Pro Bowl. How cool is that, huh? I mean, very, very well deserved. I think Sexy Dexter, right, and Saquon, right. Now, well deserved. I mean, also I'm going to go over a couple guys that are a little disappointed on who are absence, But anyway, now you got to look at. I mean, with Saquon, he's having a very good season, obviously, and all. He would benefit, okay, if we had some threats on the outside. Because when the defense is, lining up, right, and they look around, they got Richie James, maybe David Sills, Slayton, Hodgins, right, Vinette, Myrick, right, Bellinger. Not much scaring you, okay? However, right, if Saquon's in the backfield and, Daniel Jones is walking up to the line of scrimmage, and guess what? You look to the right, you got, Jaylen Waddle. Boom. You look to the left, you got Tyreek Hill. Guess what the guys in the defense are doing? They're crapping their pants, right? They're not putting 312 guys in the box. Well, we just got to shut Saquon down because I ain't worried about really anybody else, right? So it opens stuff up. You start opening up the field, the defense, right? Give Saquon a little more room to maneuver. Guess what? He starts getting some more yardage. All right. He was banged up, right? His shoulder, so he's had, he's banged up again, right? But, so you got to start taking some things into consideration. He's banged up. We've had some problems with the offensive line, guys coming in and out. Now, of course, to expect next year when everything is perfect, when all the offensive linemen never get hurt, when Saquon never gets hurt, when we have the best wide receivers and they don't get, I'd say asking a bit much. I get it. But you also get, I mean, as I said, guys, I despise the Eagles. Okay. If Jalen Hurts walked up under center and he had the Giants offensive line, and instead of Dallas Goedert, he had Daniel Bellinger, right? And he looked to the one side. Instead of DeVonta Smith, he has Richie James, okay? And instead of A.J. Brown, he's got Hodgins out there, okay? So those are receivers. He's going to Bellinger, Richie James, and Hodgins. Guess what? Jalen Hurts' numbers going to look like. Okay, you get, he's a good quarterback, but you got to take things in consideration. All right, he's doing very well because he has like the best offensive line in football in front of him. He has two phenomenal receivers. Goddard's been banged up a little bit, but he's a very good tight end. Okay. So that's why your numbers are, looking kind of good. Right? It's like with Daniel Jones. Okay. I'm not saying he should be in the Pro Bowl. But, you start looking at who he's throwing the ball to. Well, that's some reason why his touchdown numbers are not very good. His interception numbers are very good. Okay. So we got to, but I mean, I'm saying as far as like with Saquon. All right. If, as I said, like, his rookie season, right? When he came in, we had Odell Beckham, right? I mean, Saquon had over 2,000 yards. He was healthy. We did have Pat Shermer calling plays, though. Okay, but he was healthy. Okay. We had Odell Beckham in there. A good wide receiver can spread the defense out a little bit, start opening up, the box a little bit, make some more room. There's a lot of room out there on the field, okay? But when the defense just starts crowding in there, it kind of, makes it kind of tough to run. So, Saquon has had a very good season. I really think he earned it, okay? All things considering, so I'm very, very happy for him. And then, of course, we got Sexy Dexy. All right. He's had a very, very good year. I got like 300 things open here. Yep. I think we found it. There we go. Sexy Dexy. All right. Interior defensive line. He's great. Pro Football Focus. All right. These are the stats that they got for him. Okay. Well, they don't do half sacks. Okay. So I think he has 6.5. Is that? I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. I think he's up to 6.5 sacks. Yeah, no, I got too many things open here. But they got him here with 8. So I guess they don't do half sacks. So they got him here with 8 sacks. That's not right. I think he's at 6.5. For an interior defensive lineman, still got 3 games left to go. He can get 7 or 8 sacks. That's he's not Aaron Donald. I get it. But Pro Football Focus has him at a 91.7. Tell you what, 91.7. You're grading out over 90. I'll tell you what, that's freaking something special. He apparently, according to Pro Football Focus, they have him with 53 total pressures. All right, and when Leonard Williams is out, guess what? There's 2 people blocking Dexter Lawrence on every play. Right? When you got Azeez Ojulari, when you got Kayvon, when you got Leonard Williams, and you got Dexter Lawrence, it's kind of, it's like pick your poison. Who are you going to double team? Who are you going to single team? Right? But when like Leonard Williams is out, whoever's taking his place is single blocked. Right? You got 1-on-1. Then you got 4 hands. You got 4 arms. Right? Blocking Sexy Dexter. Okay. All that said and done, he let's see. According to Pro Football Focus, against Commanders, right, Sunday night, he had 5 pressures. I think he had half a sack. I don't know if it was a full sack or half a sack, but he apparently had 2 hits, 2 hurries, and he had either full sack or half a sack. But he's got 53 total pressures for the season. Absolutely phenomenal. So he certainly, definitely, without question, deserves it as well too. So those 2 guys. Well, I was initially, okay, I was a little bummed out. Let's see, I gotta find this here. As I said, I got some. Oh, there we go. I got so many. Oh, I was a little bummed out. There was 2 guys. Well, one of them, Graham Gano. He's a backup. Okay, I'm going to go over him in just a minute. But I was kind of a little bummed out that Andrew Thomas didn't make his way in there. But over the past few weeks or so, I guess, man, I don't know if he's been a little banged up or exactly what, but certainly don't want to say slipping, but he's had a couple rough games. Okay. The first 4 weeks of the season, he was almost like lights out. Really, really doing phenomenal. According to Pro Football Focus, he's given up 3 sacks in the past 4 weeks. Okay. Thanksgiving against the Cowboys, he graded out at 57.8. Right, had a rough game. The tackles, we had a couple rough. Against the Eagles, I think it was Neal and Andrew Thomas. The tackle had some rough game. Had a rough game. Okay, against the Commanders, the first time he graded out 68.9. This past week against Sunday night against the Commanders, he graded out 66.9. He graded out 71.8 against the Eagles. Okay. But he, according to Pro Football Focus, he gave up a sack against the Cowboys. The first time we played the Commanders, he gave up a sack, and then against the Eagles, he gave up a sack. All right. He's given up 3 hits, apparently, all year, according to Pro Football Focus. All right. 2 of them came in the last 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The first 10 weeks, 10 games he played in. You go basically from Detroit on back. Okay, Detroit on back, the first basically 10 games of the season, because it was week 11, but we had our bye week, right? The first 10 games of the season, he didn't give up a sack and he gave up one hit. Okay, so it's the first 10 games he gave up one hit. That's it. The last 4 games, he's given up 3 sacks and 2 hits. Not the end of the world. The world's not coming to an end. Okay, but then you also look at what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 8. Okay. The first 10 games he gave up 8 hurries and a hit. First 10 games. 8 hurries and a hit. First 10 games, he gave a grand total of 10 pressures. 10. Last 4 games, he's given up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's given up 8. So basically, he's given up 2 a game. The last 2 pressures a game, all right, between sacks, hurries, and hits, all right. And he's given up some, he's got pressures. He gave up 8 pressures over the last 4 games. Okay, so basically, 2 a game. The first 10 games, he only gave up 8 grand total, so less than 1 a game, right? So he's slipping a little. I'm not saying I want to say slipping, but he was like the number 1 rated. I mean, the first 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever it was, according to Pro Football Focus. All right. You look at it now, you go blocking grades. Okay. You go to tackles. Okay. Laramie Tunzel, but he's with Houston. He's the number 1 rated guy. Okay. Especially his pass blocking grade. All right. His pass blocking grade is a 91.3. Right. All right. But you look, they have Trent Williams, Pro Bowlers. Let me see if I can. They got him up. No, that's not it. Up. There it is. Pro Bowls. Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, and Tristan Wirfs. Okay. Now, Trent Williams and Lane Johnson. It's hard to go wrong with those guys. Trent Williams, according to Pro Football Focus, is grading out at 94.5 with San Francisco. Another one of the reasons why they're doing phenomenal. 94.5. His run blocking is a 94.1. His pass blocking is 89. He can't argue with that. Tristan Wirfs actually he's graded out at 86.8. Andrew Thomas is an 86.5. Okay. Andrew Thomas's run blocking is a little bit better than Tristan Wirfs just this year. Tristan Wirfs pass blocking is graded at a 90. Andrew Thomas is an 88.9. Okay. Now Lane Johnson, according to Pro Football, he's graded at a grand total of an 82. Andrew Thomas is an 86.5. So that's kind of However, Lane Johnson, all right, has not allowed a sack or a hit all year. Basically, nobody's touched the quarterback. He's given up 9 hurries, but nobody's touched the quarterback, who I guess apparently who he's blocked. Nobody's sacked the quarterback, and nobody's hit the quarterback with Lane Johnson. All right. So, and let's see here. Tristan Wirfs, I guess, is the backup. Williams and Johnson are the starters. So, it's kind of hard to argue with that. I said, Andrew Thomas, the last few games has been slipping a little bit. It's not the end of the world once again. I said, I'm not sure if something wrong with his feet or his ankle or exactly what it is, but it's kind of hard to argue with. Tristan Wirfs is having a very good year. Apparently, Tristan Wirfs, according to Pro Football Focus, once again, has given up 1 sack. Trent Williams has given up 1 sack. Okay, Andrew Thomas has given up 3. All right, and Lane Johnson hasn't given up any. So between Lane Johnson, Tristan Wirfs, and Trent Williams, those 3 guys have given up a grand total of 2 sacks. Andrew Thomas himself has given up 3 sacks. All right, so I was a little bummed out when I saw that, but you start looking at who's there. It's if you got Lane Johnson in there, it's really hard to argue. That guy is just freaking. I was listening to somebody in the Eagle said, I think in the last like 2.5 years, he hasn't given up a sack. I mean, holy crap. Wow. I mean, the guy's a Hall of Famer, right? Kelsey and Johnson, Hall of Famers. And then they had Peters there too. He's possibly a Hall of Famer too. So it's no wonder why the Eagles are always so good. I had like 3 Hall of Fame offensive linemen on their team. It's kind of, right. But, so I was a little bummed out about that. I was also bummed out about Graham Gano. Okay. However, once you start looking at kind of like, who they had in there. All right. You start looking at it, it's kind of like, all right. Who beat him out? Who beat Jason Myers, the Seahawks? Okay. Beat him out. Okay. Now you start looking at it like, you can't really be totally bummed out because Jason, let's see, what has he had? He's missed, I think, 1 field goal. Yeah. He's 26 out of 27 on field goals. He's 6 out of 6 from 50 yards, right? The thing that would have really kind of ticked me off is if he was like kicking like in Detroit, right? Or Atlanta, someplace where they're in a dome stadium. But no, he's kicking outside, right? So, it's tough, right? So he's only missed 1 extra point. He's 37 of 38 on extra points. Graham Gano, I think, he just missed a 2? I think he missed a 2 against Detroit. I think it was windy as hell. So Graham Gano is 25 out of 27. Graham Gano has missed 3 field goals. Okay. Jason Myers only missed 1. So, Gano didn't get the nod there. But, when you start looking at Myers and what he's, his body of work, right, you can't really argue, all right, without, I was a little bummed out, but it is what it is. But I'm happy we got Graham Gano as it is. And hopefully maybe next year we'll get Andrew Thomas. He'll be a Pro Bowler next year, hopefully. Right. Then we got good old about time. Okay. Nice, to see good old Kayvon get his breakout game. Right. It was coming. Once things start slowing down for the guy, right? Good times are ahead, right? And he was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Said the most dominant performance of Kayvon's brief career has earned him his first NFL honor, quite possibly first of many. Thibodeau today was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week after he was the best player on the field in the Giants' 20-12 victory at Washington Sunday night. 5th overall selection, Thibodeau recorded a career and game-high 12 tackles, 9 solo, including 3 for loss. He also scored the Giants' first touchdown, right on it. He got the grand salami, right? He got the sack. He got the forced fumble. He got the recovered fumble. He got the touchdown. He got everything. He hit the grand salami. Out of the park, baby. All right. Then, also the one that you have to kind of, which is like kind of, I guess overshadowed by like the touchdown he had was when at the end of the game, I'm going to go here. Thibodeau made another huge play with 1:03 remaining in the 4th quarter when he chased and then tackled Heineke at the 1-yard line after a 9-yard game. His effort prevented the Commanders from getting a first down just shy of the goal line. Now he was in coverage. Heineke took off toward the end, toward the corner of the end zone there, and I thought he was scoring, but Thibodeau was in coverage, right? Broke off and forced Heineke out, like right around the 1-yard line. That was a huge play, right? Then you got then, of course, you got on 3rd and 1, Brian Robinson bullied his way into the end zone, but the touchdown was nullified by an illegal formation penalty. Forced to snap the ball from the 6, Heineke was chased by Azeez Ojulari, threw the ball away to avoid a sack. Heineke's 4th down pass to Curtis Samuel fell incomplete. Then, with a little help from our referees, but it is what it is. Thibodeau's tied for third on the Giants with 3 sacks and is second on the team with 11 quarterback hits. He has 38 tackles, 24 solo, including 4 for loss, plus 3 passes defense, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. So Thibodeau is just the second rookie among the Giants' 51 Defensive Player of the Week selections in the 39-year history of the award, and the first since Week 14 of the 2014 season. Linebacker Devin Kennard was honored after picking up 2 sacks and 6 solo tackles and forcing a fumble in the Giants' 36-7 victory at Tennessee. The last Giants rookie to win Player of the Week award was quarterback Daniel Jones after his first start when we beat the Bucs in Tampa on September 22nd, 2019. Thibodeau is the first Giants defensive player to be honored since Leonard Williams was named Player of the Week after he had 3 sacks in the 2020 season finale versus Dallas. Williams had also received the honor 4 weeks earlier after a victory in Seattle. He was a beast when we beat the Seahawks in Seattle in 2020. He was a beast in that game. Oh, yeah. The Giants have won 4 Player of the Week awards this season, and they've been divided among the offense, defense, and special teams. Saquon Barkley was cited after his 194 scrimmage yards in Week 1 against the Titans. Jones won the team's second Offensive Player of the Week award after throwing for 202 yards and a touchdown and rushing for a career high 107 yards and another score in a win at Jacksonville. And then Graham Cano named Special Teams Player of the Week after kicking 4 field goals, including a 52 and a 56-yarder in our victory against Carolina. I mean, it's amazing, what a godsend he's been. Yeah, I mean, just unbelievable. The one thing, the one he did miss was the 58-yarder. Just fell a yard or 2 short. It was just a little bit out of his range. He tried not to overkick it, just tried to hit it solid, right? It's from I'm remembering him saying, you don't want to try to overkick it, just hit it nice and solid, and he just didn't quite have the leg. It just fell a little bit short. But I mean, what a godsend Graham Gano has been. So hopefully we'll have Gano for a couple more years. Hopefully we make sure we re-sign him. And then also I've seen this, which is kind of a lot of times the Giants don't get a lot of love from a lot of the news agencies and stuff like that and all. But so CBS, they kind of praised Fabian. Actually, it's Fabian, but I like saying Fabian Moreau as a very good move, all right, that the Giants had in bringing him up from the practice squad and all. I said, while the Giants have dealt with injuries in numerous positions this season, one that has been hit particularly hard is cornerback. Aaron Robinson has just played. He's played in 2 games all year, and boom, season's over. Has been injured. Has been on injured reserve since Week 4. Meanwhile, Adoree Jackson suffered his own knee injury in Week 11 and is yet to return to the practice field. So he got injured against the Lions, and then he's missed the last 4 games. So basically, he might be missing this week. So he might be, So if we got this week, he'll be out like 5.5 weeks. Hopefully, he can come back against the Colts. We don't even know. Said Rodarius Williams, he's only played. He was. Let's see, what's he been? I know he missed a bunch of time. Not, he's only played in a couple of games. But Rodarius Williams, I mean, he was on IR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First 8 weeks of the season, he was on IR. But I mean, he's only played in a couple of games. But I mean, between like Rodarius Williams, Aaron Robinson, Adoree Jackson, we had to get, obviously, money purposes. Thank you, Dave Gettleman. We had to let go of James Bradbury. So it's like our top cornerbacks they're not there, right? I mean, and we got slaughtered against the Eagles, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, the Giants' defense has done a rather well. We don't have the greatest of talent, plain and simple. Our front 4 is very, very good. We don't even have Xavier McKinney. We got to let Jabrill Peppers go. We got to let Logan Ryan go. We couldn't sign James Bradbury. We had to let him go money-wise. Adoree Jackson might be the 5.5 week he's missed. Aaron Robinson, his season's over with. I mean, it's like, what the hell? I mean, how are you supposed to play? How are you supposed to win? If secondary. I mean, right? But so CBS, all right. These injuries paved the way for Fabian Moreau to earn a starting role in the secondary, and once given the opportunity, the veteran corner did not look back. Now, he's got a few years under his belt. What do we got? Is it 6 or 7? He was with Washington. Oh, 6. Okay. He was with Washington. He got drafted in the 3rd round from UCLA 2017. So he was with them from 2017, 18, 19, and 20. He was last year, he was with Atlanta, okay, and then the Giants got him this year, okay. Now, according to Pro Football Focus, he's only graded out at 58.6, okay. But, you got to look at it, he's not like a top flight cornerback, okay. So he's going up against maybe the best wide receivers, that they got on the other team, So he's kind of holding his own. Normally, if you got Adoree Jackson out there, Fabian, it might be on the 2nd best or maybe the 3rd, so his numbers might even be better. So, I mean, he's holding his own. Now, against this year, what do we got? According to Pro Football Focus, he's had 61 targets. They've completed 36 passes, 59% completion percentage, 59%. Grand total 448 yards. 12.4 yards of reception against him. Yards after catch, 161 yards he's given up. The longest reception he's given up all year is 28 yards. I don't know. It was against Jacksonville. They had all kinds of freaking yards, passing yards. They had a lot of passing yards. Giants gave up a lot of yards that game. But his longest reception was 28 yards all year. He's given up 3 touchdowns all year. Right? Looks like he missed like maybe one game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he missed like maybe 2 games. He didn't play in Dallas, and he didn't play the first week of the season against the Titans. So he missed 2 games. Other than that, he's been in like every game. He's given up. He has 7 pass breakups. Okay, he's given up 3 touchdowns. Right. He's grading out as 58.6. His coverage grades are 57.9. His run defense is 62.6. His tackling's is 71.2. Right. But what I saw was CBS Sports' Cody Benjamin recently picked the most important in-season move for 10 playoff teams. Right. When it came to the Giants, he chose the promotion of Moreau from the practice squad as the Giants' biggest move this season. That's kind of tough to argue with that, right? I mean, what he's pointing out here, with Adoree Jackson injured, and I said Rodarius Williams, Aaron Robinson, we had to let go James Bradbury. That's why another reason why the Eagles are so good, because they got Slay and Bradbury. They won't have those 2 guys next year, right? But, if we had Adoree Jackson and Bradbury, we'd be doing better too, right? And as I said, we don't have Xavier McKinney. He, only on a bye week, we lose our starting safety. You don't even know if that guy's going to be back at all. He might be back for the playoffs. Who knows? But, we're so banged up in the secondary. It says Moreau has played in 12 games this season with starts in each of the last 9. The 28-year-old has registered 54 total tackles, 42 solo, 10 pass breakups. Okay, so the numbers are different. Pro Football Focus pass breakup has him with 7. So it's you look at different. The numbers are different. He has 10 pass breakups, 1 shy of his career best of 11 set last year when he was with the Falcons. The Giants originally signed Moreau to the practice squad on September 5th. After elevating him for weeks 2 and 3, the Giants signed the veteran cornerback to the active roster on September 28th. Moreau was originally a 3rd-round pick, number 81 overall from the Washington. At the time, it was the Washington Redskins at the time, okay, in 2017 from UCLA. After playing 4 seasons in Washington, Moreau spent last season with the Falcons. 88 career games across 6 different seasons. Moreau has registered 240 tackles, 6 interceptions, 35 passes defense, 3 forced fumbles, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 quarterback hit. So I mean, he's one of, there's a lot of guys, without question, you can look at when the season's over with, because with the injury, with the success the Giants have had, okay, and with the injuries the Giants have had, a lot of times, like in each game, as you go along, you just start looking at like, well, so-and-so. Remember, he had a good game there. This guy remember the guy who was on the practice squad? He came up. He had a good game there. So you got a lot of unsung heroes. And so it's not always just, sexy Dexter or Saquon. It's a team, right? And the injuries the Giants have had in the secondary, without question, I mean, we've given up yards. Sure, we've given up a lot of rushing yards. We've given up some passing yards in some games, right? But you got, if some of these guys, especially from the practice squad and all, haven't stepped up at all, the Giants would not be 8-5-1. So, I mean, you got to hopefully, right? Fabian Moreau is somebody that might stick with the Giants. Maybe he's not a starter. Who knows? He might. After the season's over with, he might, want to, if he had another good season, he might want to test the waters and maybe see if somebody can sign him to maybe a few $1 million a year instead of what the Giants are paying him, right? So unfortunately, he might fly the coop. I'll have to wait and see. But if the Giants can sign him again next year and keep him around, it certainly be very, very beneficial. For him, it was certainly without question would be good quality depth. And every team needs that, especially in the secondary, and especially for the Giants as well. Well, guys, it's been 36, almost 37 minutes. Anybody spent any time watching me, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Or if anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!